Okay, and we are live. I actually was not counting to go live, but you brought it up, so I'm like, okay, let's go for it. Can you hear me? Mike.
I sure can hear me.
You're being you're being quiet for a second. Now you sound like Kermit the Frog for a second there.
Sorry, I was every time I like go onto a different page, it cuts out for some reason.
Right. So, anyways, this is basically regarding the videos that I made recently, which is why this it's a chill live, but it's regarding the videos that I've been reacting to recently because I wanted to address something, but people, like I said, they wanted to be stupid. Um, Here's first one we could probably take a
An
look at.
announcement has been paid for by the.
We could probably talk about this one. So, you ready?
Actually, hey, let me see if I can. Yeah.
Wait, what you need to do again? I'm sorry.
How do you do that? Like, how do you put the screen on? How do you do that? Like, how do you put the screen on like that?
For you? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like how do you do it on your end? Like, how do you put something else on the screen like that, like a video or something?
Well, I'm able to do it only because I'm on the laptop. I'm looking at stuff between the phone and the laptop or computers in general. I think you have more access with the computers than you do with the phones. Because when I try to do stuff on the phones, it wouldn't let me pull up anything.
Have you tried
Kind of retarded.
changing it to desktop mode?
Pretty much. But I'm on a. Okay, we're gonna wait for a bit. But anyways, the only reason why we're doing this, and this is a chill live, but the TWC, they want to keep being stupid. One of them specifically, which is Gatorman Apologetics. And he likes to take things out of context, especially with my posts, where he goes like, oh, he's going to stop doing scripture reading videos. I never said that once. If you read the whole thing, which Mr. Baldy McNosehair did not, and yes, I know what I said, you can see where I said I was not saying that I'm going to stop doing Bible studies. I said I'll do a little bit here and there while making fun videos in the process as well. That is what I said. And I even have the original post to prove that as well. Let's see here. Got me back on. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you pop in. Sorry.
Yeah, I got it in desktop mode. It shows a little thing that has like a little plus sign. It says present.
Yeah, there you go.
Is
Yep.
that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just clicked on change. I just changed it to desktop mode in Chrome. You can do that. Okay. Take that off and then send me the link to the video.
Okay. I can send you a thing on Messenger actually because I got these downloaded.
Yeah. Yes. So is this the same video you did a reaction to in the video I just linked to you?
There's 3 I did reactions to. Give me a second.
That's kind of what I wanted to respond to particularly.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I got 3 of them. I'll send you all 3 if you want.
It's the one from the video that let me look up what it's called. Hold on. It's called Gatorman Apologetics. Get over yourself.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me take a look at that real quick. Take a look.
I want like the actual video that you responded to though.
What's the picture on there?
It's like his logo and it says "Get over yourself."
Okay, I gotta.
It's like his logo and it says "Get over yourself."
Yeah, I gotta find that specific video. Give me a second.
You don't have to scroll down too far. It's like right there.
Hey, I don't care. Oh wait, download. Oh wait, I did the wrong thing. Downloads. Yes.
Your
Here
screen
we go.
share is not supported on this device. All right. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to download the whole video.
Should be freedom. See, you are not a pastor. Get over yourself.
Okay. Give me 1 second here, Mike.
Yeah.
Go over here. Turn this on. There you go. And not to mention, in the video, I was not even talking about him. There's 2 videos where I was not even talking about him, and he comes at me like a 2-year-old little baby. If anyone can hear in the background, I got a Tetris game going too, so there's that. Do you just wanted that one, Mike, or did you want the other 2 also?
You can do the other 2 in a minute. Hold on, I'm downloading it right now.
Okay.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can still hear you. Make sure they're okay because I know it's hot as hell in here. I'm not gonna lie, I actually was not planning on doing a video, but since you suggested that, I'm like, okay, well. Ugh.
Reconstruction of Jesus' face based on the shot of Turin and the Achaean picture.
What's
I'll
up?
show you guys that real quick. I did this is like my completed like reconstruction, kind of like a sort of like a forensic reconstruction of Jesus' face based on the Achaean. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but Achaean portrait and the shroud of Turin.
Right.
At least it will show that. Is it showing?
If you do the present, it should come up.
Try again. Huh, weird. Oh, anyway. I need the right app to do this on the phone.
I thought you said you were using a desktop.
I'm using the desktop mode on my phone,
Oh.
but for some reason, you can click on it, but it says an error whenever I try to do anything. So screen share, it said your screen is not compatible with screen share. And then when I tried to upload an image, it said there was an issue with your file. So I don't know what's going on. The video is not downloaded for some reason. I clicked save. I guess just go ahead and do it on your end.
Announcement has
Okay, let me do this. Make sure it's all rewound. Okay, just tell me when to pause.
the following announcement has been paid for by the Trinitarians working for Christ.
Well, I thought a video needed to be made. You know, I've been sent screenshots of.
This is the first time he contacted me, by the way, after I did stuff because I made a couple of posts.
Oh wait, hold on.
Wait.
It's saved. I got it. It's saved now. It's saved now. Let me see if it'll let me. Wait, take that off. Let me see if it'll let me do it.
All right.
I wish I could just do screen share.
I had 2 people just come in and watch for a little bit. Oh wait, there you go.
You see
All
it?
right.
Is it?
Yeah.
on there? I don't see it. It's not. It's not.
There we go.
It's not like.
Or as we walk.
There we go. Rewind.
All right.
All right. Ready?
All right.
Jesus said we're supposed to turn the other cheek, but I don't remember him saying that we couldn't fart as we walk away. So let her rip, tater
It's
chip.
crazy.
Wow. Very becoming of a so-called pastor. But let's just go right to Scripture, shall we? 1 Timothy chapter 3. The saying
Wait,
is
pause it.
trustworthy.
Is it just on my end or is it on your end? Is the screen freezing?
It's
Like you
freezing.
can hear it just fine. But
It's
all right,
freezing.
we'll just
so I'm
play
gonna
it.
play- I was gonna say we can play from my end too because I got the same video. I didn't delete it.
Yeah. What I wanted to really want to do was to show like Bible verses and stuff, but we can do that later.
All right.
Just
Well, let me try this.
so
Hang
I
on.
wanted to break down like the Greek stuff.
Yeah, let me do this. Hang on. I'm not removing you, but I gotta do this. Hang on.
Yeah.
Wait, not that. Hang on. Hang on. Remove that. No, I don't want to share screen. Oh, crap. I need video file. Yes. I think was it this one? Wait, no. This one?
To turn the other cheek.
Yeah, there we go.
But I don't remember him saying that we couldn't fart as we walk away. So let her rip, Tater Chip.
Wow. Very becoming of a so-called pastor.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Can I play this quick first? It's just a couple
Yeah,
seconds.
Wait, what's this?
All right, put it up.
Hang on,
The
stop publishing.
side
Hang on.
helping of
What? What's? Hang on.
holy on a sandwich with on top, and a side helping of
I'm sorry.
You're an idiot.
I just found that.
You're an idiot. Why?
It's a clip from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. It's the abridged parody of Yu-Gi-Oh! And he's just go like, "Holy beep beep on a sandwich with the side helping a beep."
Wow.
I just found that. I don't know why. I just wanted to
Let's
play
get back
it.
to the thing, dude. We're trying to assess.
I'm sorry.
But let's just go right to Scripture, shall we? 1 Timothy chapter 3. The saying is trustworthy. If anyone aspires to the office of overseer, he desires a noble task.
Right there.
Therefore, an
Pause. Did you hear what he said? I think
Yeah.
he's using one of the newer translations, but in the King James that says bishop. Okay, I'll go to Google real quick
All right, give me one.
or Chrome or whatever.
Hang on, let me actually pull this. Actually, hang on.
Pull up 1 Timothy 3 in the Geneva Bible.
I'm not using Geneva, but I can use King James too. Either
We'll
way.
just go to Bible Hub and we'll just select it. Select the translation.
Okay.
It's up. They have it on Bible Hub.
Excuse me.
You know what? I'll send you the link right now.
Okay, so he said 1 Timothy.
I'll send you the link right now. Hold on.
All right.
I'm gonna send you the link real quick. Timothy 3.
That's the reason why I like having you on the lives too, because you know more Hebrew and Greek than I do.
So, oh, cool. GenevaBible.org.
All the not things like hey, yeah.
Yeah, I just do it in Bible Gateway. All right, here we go. No, I don't know. It looks weird with all the. Is there a more natural like? There's too many.
Are you saying the?
I want
chat-
just the text. I don't want all the numbers and stuff in it, like the footnotes.
Trying to figure out what you're trying to do here, because I'm not sure if I should be looking at the messenger or.
Hold on, I'm just gonna send you the text, like the Bible text, but
Okay.
everything I click on, it's like it has a whole bunch of like numbers and brackets for the footnotes, and I think that's kind of distracting. I'm trying to look for where it's just plain text.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even look at footnotes anymore, to be honest.
I mean, they're interesting, but it's just when they put it
They are, yeah.
with the numbers, it's just like I don't know. I don't like it.
I mean, they are interesting, yeah, because it does bring a few things into context.
Like if
but
you want to put the
things-
footnotes in the actual footnotes, why do you got to interrupt the text? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I already know who's watching too. I got 2 viewers on here. I already know who's watching. The TWC morons. I don't even need to ask who's on here. I already know who's on here.
Oh, they're watching that.
Yeah, quite frankly, I don't give a damn anymore.
Reminds me when the Pharisees would follow Jesus around trying to see what they could dig up on him.
Like, here's the thing. I will admit
They're
this.
always
Yeah,
following him around.
I mean, here's what I'll admit. Yeah,
Like they
I
have
have
nothing better to do.
Yeah, I have cussed before. I've done some stuff. You know, I'm not going to say that I didn't. But still, what they did, not right either way.
Yeah, don't get mad at it.
Only thing I will say, I have changed a lot, though, and I'm glad I did because, like I said, if it wasn't for God, I probably wouldn't be alive right now.
Yeah. Okay, so 1 Timothy 3.
I
We're
find
gonna do
funny,
it old-fashioned way.
yeah. I find it funny that Baldy McNose here didn't even pull up any verses. He just says 1 Timothy 3, but he didn't say what verse, unless at the beginning. And if it was at the beginning, well, then I'll apologize. But pull mine out real quick. Still waiting for you to send me that thing you wanted.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna send you the link. Here we go. All right, there we go. Ah! What happened? What happened to the page?
Is your phone
All
drunk?
right, where's the chat? Where's the chat?
There's a thing of private chat.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Wait. Private chat. Maybe comment. All right. There we go. Took way too long to find that.
Open the link in a new tab. Yes. All right, give me 1 second here. And then I'm going to go ahead and share
Copy
screen.
paste.
Give me 1 second here. 1557 Geneva Bible, New Testament. Okay. All right. So what is it that we need to look at specifically here? Oh, wait. It wasn't being.
So
Okay.
zoom in on it. Zoom in on it.
I
It's
did.
like that's like an old trend. That's like an old school trend, like it's an actual photo.
So he did. Okay. So I do
digital photo
apologize.
of, like an old.
Only for this part, I apologize for calling him Baldy McNose here for this part because he didn't say what verse, but it was at the very beginning. Okay, so that part I do apologize.
What are you talking about?
No, I called him Baldy McNose here because usually he would give certain verses,
Yeah,
but he didn't. But it was at the very beginning, so that part I do apologize for that part. But anyways, here we have
All right.
right
Well,
here.
anyway, 1 Timothy chapter 3. It says, I'm gonna read it, because I know like you struggle with the old English, right?
Yeah.
This is a true saying: if a man desire the office of bishop, he desires a worthy work. A bishop, therefore, must be faultless. So notice here it says bishop, not overseer. Now it's the same thing, but
Yeah.
I'm assuming this guy didn't know that overseer meant bishop, which in Greek is episkopos.
Mhm.
So a bishop therefore must be faultless, husband of one wife, watching, sober, martyrs, harbors. I'm gonna look up what that means. I don't know what that means.
Excuse me.
This is an archaic word. Obsolete form of harbors. All right. It means hospitable. So, kind, hospitable.
Mhm.
Hospitality, basically. Southern hospitality.
Southern hospitality.
All right, let's keep it up. Hold on. Excuse me. Okay, so apt to teach. Apt just means like fit or equipped, basically, in this context. Not given to wine, so not a drunkard, basically. not someone who drinks excessively.
Yeah.
No fighter, so he doesn't fight and cause disruption, and he's not trying to beat everyone up. Disagrees with them. Not given to filthy lucre, so that means to be kind of greedy or desire, covetous over money.
Mhm.
But gentle, abhorring fighting, so he abhors violence. Abhorring covetousness, so he abhors, people who are greedy and that sort of thing. One that can rule his own house honestly, having children under obedience with all honesty. So he's the man of the house. He keeps his children in line. This is talking about a bishop, right? For you, a man cannot rule his own house. How shall he care for the church of God? So if basically it's kind of like the same kind of logic as, how can, if you can't look after the little things, how can you look after the big things, right?
Mm-hmm.
For if he may not be a young schooler, so it's just talking about like a young, uneducated person, lest he swell, lest he be puffed up. Is that overly zealous, basically? So this is what this means. So basically what he said, but here's the problem. It says bishop, not pastor.
Right.
So now some of these things might be applicable, but bishops are held at a much higher expectation than the pastor. Pastor is someone who looks over like these small, like a local ministry or a local church. A bishop is someone who's the overseer of like a parish or a territory, like a gathering of different churches. This is not talking about just a lowly pastor. This is a higher position, so a greater level of expectation comes with that. Obviously, it can't be some young guy who doesn't know what he's talking about.
Right.
So there's got to be someone who's very experienced, been under authority. That's not really applicable to you. Some things can be applicable to you, like obviously don't be in sin. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
But
there's
notice he doesn't understand what he's talking about. He thinks he's talking about pastors. He doesn't understand that he's talking about a bishop. He doesn't even know what a bishop is. But I want you to I'm gonna get you the link for the Greek. I want to show the Greek word because this shows like this is not talking about a pastor.
So you want to head over to Google again for the whatchamajiggy?
Yeah. I'm gonna send the link again.
Oh, okay. I'll just wait for you to send that then.
I have an app for this, but I can't do screen share, so I'm just gonna use Bible Hub.
Yeah, we have no AC going on, so I'm trying to keep an eye on the dogs too because it's 80-some degrees outside while it's 85 in the apartment.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I'm gonna read it. Just pull the page up so that when I'm reading it, it's at the same time. Just let me know when the page is up.
Feel free. The one you just sent me just now?
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Let me do this real quick because I'm gonna show up. I don't want to be opening up multiple tabs. So give me a second. All right, can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. Get this out of the way. All right, so how far do I need to go down?
Where is it? Where is it? I don't see it.
Let's see here. First one.
All right.
Wait a minute. Overseer ship.
Maybe zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, hang on.
Maybe zoom in just a little bit.
How's
I'm
that?
gonna do it on my page. I have it pulled up here. I'm just gonna read it. But for those who are watching, maybe they can't see it. So I'm just gonna read the Greek real quick, just to be cool. Pistos hologos, etis episkopes, oregetai kalon argum episemi. So trustworthy. So that comes from the word Greek word pistis, which means faith, and so it can mean faithful, trustworthy, solid, straight, basically, truthful. That's the different meanings that word can have. So
Here we go. This one part, like
logos just means like word. So a
Yeah,
truthful
over
or
here-
trustworthy word. So the word I want to focus on is episcopus. That refers to a very official position, like it's a specific thing. It's not just like a generic term for any pastor or anyone claims to be of authority. This is like someone who's properly ordained as a bishop. And if you look at the context of what that word is, and like the first couple centuries of Christianity, like the early church history, like that's a very specific term. When you encounter that in the New Testament, that's referring to like an official position. Now, I'm not aware of anyone here who has ever claimed themselves to be a bishop. You've never claimed to be a bishop, right?
Yeah, never. I'm just a pastor. That's all I am.
Exactly. So what does this verse even have? What does this passage even have to do with you?
Exactly. That's the thing. I don't get it.
Like it's like he doesn't even know the basics of what this is talking about. So click on that word episcopus. There should be a strong number right next to it.
All right.
Yeah, 1984. Oh yeah, you can click on the number. I think you're supposed to click on the number. All right. Yeah. So oversight, visitation, office of a bishop, supervision, overseership. This is not talking about just a regular everyday pastor. This is talking about someone who God has ordained, who is specifically ordained, an apostolic office to oversee, a jurisdiction of the church. And of course, it's in the Septuagint. It translates the Hebrew word paked. It's often associated with the role and responsibilities of a bishop or overseer within the early Christian church. So the first couple of centuries of Christianity. If you want to know like the full context and meaning of what this means, you can look into like the church fathers and look at how that was understood within that context of the first century, the second century. So this is not talking about a pastor. This has got nothing to do with us. It's got nothing to do with anyone probably on this live stream. Now, obviously, you don't want to be drunk. You don't want to be, but like specific requirements and things like, being married, that doesn't really apply to a pastor. I'm not sure if it's even actually saying that a bishop has to be married. But within the early church, this is where Roman Catholics go wrong, right? Because they say, a priest has to be celibate. And obviously, in order to be a bishop, you've got to be a priest. But in the early church, bishops were usually married. I mean, more often than not. They weren't celibate.
I actually never knew that, to be honest.
Yeah, so that's an interesting little nugget about to bash the Catholics. But yeah, that's not talking about like a local minister or pastor who he has a small local congregation and he just helps around the community. That's not what that's talking about. That's talking about someone who has a much bigger calling.
Yeah, because seriously, I would never want to be a bishop, to be honest. Never.
I mean, again, if you're not called, if God didn't ordain you, you have to be ordained by God, not just by man. Now, God can use people, but like a true bishop is someone who's literally ordained by God. If God didn't tell you to be a bishop, do not claim to be a bishop.
Right. The only thing I was called to do is
if someone who is a man of God didn't pass that responsibility to you, then you have no business claiming that title.
Yeah. The only thing I was called to do was just be a pastor. That was it.
Exactly. So again, this isn't really talking about certain things. You could say, well, that can also apply to a pastor. Like, don't be a drunk. Just generally don't be sinful. I mean, obviously, like I said, that's a no-brainer. Certain things can apply, but as a specific list of requirements, this is only talking about Christian. within the context of that passage.
Should we keep going over that video to see what else we need to cover?
Yeah.
All right.
Seer must be above reproach, the husband of one wife, sober-minded, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not a drunkard, not violent but gentle, not quarrelsome, not a lover of money. He must manage his own household well, with all dignity, keeping his children submissive. For if someone does not know how to manage his own household, how will he care for God's church? He must not be a recent
Again,
convert.
Can I pause that real quick?
Yeah.
We just brought that up earlier, but I want to kind of elaborate on that. So,
We talked about that. Yeah.
that's important because it tells you like this is a bishop. Again, this is talking about a bishop, not a pastor, right? He clearly doesn't get that, but obviously a bishop, because he's in such a high position, he's got to be like an elder, like someone who's experienced in the Lord, like not a new convert. Which he did bring that up, and he's correct. But that's referring to bishops, not pastors. Someone can be in local ministry and be a little bit younger, a little bit. I mean, it just depends on what God is doing, right? But for a bishop, yes, a bishop does have to be, preferably, I mean, someone who's married, who has children, who's experienced, who's been in the Lord a really long time, has those kinds of qualifications, because that's a very big responsibility. But this isn't talking about like local ministry.
Right.
Like just basic street preaching and evangelism, just basic preaching. This is talking about something that's like more up.
He may become puffed up with conceit and fall into the condemnation of the devil. Moreover, he must be well thought of by outsiders, so that he may not fall into disgrace, into a snare of the
Wait,
devil.
hold on. Which translation are you using? I'm curious.
He
Hold
reads
on.
out the ESV.
Pause
He
real
reads out the
quick.
ESV. He reads out the ESV.
All right, but whatever. Let me see what that actually says, though, because I'm curious. Because doesn't the Bible say like "Woe to you if all men speak well of you"? So I'm wondering if that translation is correct, or if maybe there's some context missing.
There's an ESV I have here too. If you want to go get that?
No, I'm looking up in the original Greek. Let's see which verse this was.
All right.
Do you know which verse he was referencing there?
I do not.
I don't see anywhere.
Hang on. Give me a second. Give me a second.
He has to be favored by outsiders, whatever he just said.
I gotta get the book. Hang on.
I'm looking through the interlinear, and it does not say that anywhere. Hold on. I think I'm getting to it. Hold on. Not a novice, not being puffed up. That he might come. Okay, judgment of the devil. Testimony of God. To have a good testimony from those outside. Outside what, though? Because he's talking about worldly people. Like, if you're preaching the truth, why are worldly people going to speak well of you? I'm interested what that means. Does that just mean just basically being like respectable? I'm curious what that means.
No, let's see here.
Because obviously, if people are worldly, especially today's generation, you say stuff like you say anything about homosexuality being the sin, all these mouth breathers are just going to be like all over. It's like doxing you.
He's looking at verse 7 in 1 Timothy 3. Moreover, he must be well thought of by outsiders, so that he may not fall into disgrace, into a snare of the devil. That's
Yeah, but I'm
the-
talking about where it says have a good testimony from outside.
I guess have a
in
good
the-
testimony
that's kind of the
from
Greek.
outsiders to help them come closer to Christ. Because here's the thing.
Well, it says from. It doesn't say outsider. It says from outside. From outside. Literally in the Greek, ton
Oh, yeah.
exultant.
Yeah, you're right.
Ton exultant apple. Ton exultant. It's not a noun, as in like outsiders is a noun, as in or preposition, I think. Or
Yeah,
no
you're right.
adverb. It's an adverb, as in outside.
You're right about that.
And
So
the
look at-
tone is just a definite article. So it's literally, if you want to translate literally, it says to have good testimony. So, martyrian kalen echein apoton echsoten.
I'm looking in the New King James because I got it from one of my friends, and it says basically what you said right here. It says right here, moreover, he must have a good testimony among those who are outside the faith.
I mean, that's a translator's decision. It doesn't actually say from those in the Greek. It just says from the outside, literally. That would be the most literal translation. But that's probably just like translators reading it that way. But again, like, what does it mean outside? Like, is it talking about outside Christianity, outside the church?
I think it means
Because people outside the church are wicked. They don't respect the things of God.
I would say it would be more like those who are not involved in the faith yet because of the way people have been treated and whatnot.
Yeah, maybe people who are just like seeking. That could make sense. But I don't see how this could be talking about people who are actively against the church. Unless it's just talking about you're generally respectable or respected. I mean, I could see that too, but also when Jesus said, "Woe to you, who meant to be well with you," and he said, "Because the world hated me or hate you." But yeah, I think it's just talking about like generally just having good testimony, being respectful. Okay, that makes sense.
Shall we keep going?
Yeah, go ahead.
Brandon, you have checked every box in that passage, and not in a good way. So, how does, the fact that you have more fart videos on your page?
Don't laugh. It's not funny.
I'm sorry.
Let's try to be serious. Last video, we goofed around way too much. Let's try to be serious.
I know.
But
I'm
what
trying to be
you
serious.
said, obviously, I've looked at your videos. Most of your videos are responses to, like, exposing stuff or Bible study videos or things like that. Like, I'm just going based off your YouTube channel. I haven't looked too much on your TikTok. I'm pretty sure your TikTok's full of ridiculous stuff. But as far as your YouTube channel, I don't see a whole lot of fart videos. Maybe like one or two so far that I've seen.
With my TikTok, I don't have.
But yeah. I think maybe, to be fair, you might have a little bit of a point. Like, you might go a little bit overboard on TikTok because I've seen some of your TikTok stuff.
Okay, well, here's the thing with that. There's times,
but it's not a sin. Like, you're not sinning by doing that. You're just being a little weird.
Right. What I'm trying to do with that is this. There's times, especially with work, and I do study a lot when I'm at work too. But the reason why those videos are even there, because I don't have a whole lot of those up there, is because one, if I don't have time to do some, at least I got time to make someone laugh. That's what I do, because I like to teach, but I also like to clown around. So
I understand that.
And here's the thing.
I understand that. I just like the clown on YouTube.
Right, because here's the thing. Like, when I first started doing pastoral work, 3 or 4 people we have helped get saved. They were people who were involved in Satanism and paganism.
Yeah, like, you've drawn people. That's, again, I'm curious how many people he has in his ministry that are they actually like have a testimony about how God delivered them from sin. I'd be interested to hear that.
I've been trying to get in contact with them for a while, but I haven't heard anything from them for a good while.
I remember like one, I don't remember, I think it was Derek Prince. I'm not sure if it was Derek Prince, but I know like one pastor once said, like, if you don't have a testimony, I know it was Noah Hines. Check out Noah Hines' Deliverance Ministry. Maybe I'll put the link in the description, or in the comments. But I think he once said, like, one of the evidences of a false convert is someone who never truly had, like, a conversion type of scenario, but they're just either they're just religious, or they're just a cultural Christian or a raised Christian, or join Christianity for ulterior motives. A false convert.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest evidences for a false convert is somebody who doesn't have a testimony. You don't have a testimony about how you were in the world and you were lost and God saved you. You can't think of anything that God actually did for you. That's like a big red flag. Because every true Christian has a testimony.
Well, I put up my testimony. I think I put up 2 of them so far because I don't know if I posted one up. But there's one I did post up.
And I'm not just to preface, I'm not accusing him. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying I would be interested in hearing that. If anyone can bring like a testimony, something that his ministries did, or something that happened to them, like God did for them.
Right.
I'm not accusing and saying that's not the case. I'm just saying I would be interested to hear.
Right.
Then you do scripture reading. And I love this post where you say that you're going to stop doing Bible studies on your live.
I never said that once. I'll pull up the actual post. And I even said this too. Let me zoom up. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. Remove that. Here we go. Okay, here's what I actually said. I said today's live didn't go exactly as planned, only because I wanted to do a Bible study, but I would like more people to be a part of it. And I was even inviting people too. And said, so until I get more people in there, there will be little bits and parts here and there. I will do them along with some fun videos. That's what I said. I never said I was going to stop doing Bible videos. I never said that once. Can you see it okay, Mike?
Yeah, I can read it. Might want to zoom in just a little bit.
All right, give me a second. Let me go back over here.
Today's live didn't go exactly as planned, only because I want to do a Bible study, but I would like more people to be part of it until I get. Is this what he's saying, that you said, you weren't going to do Bible studies?
Yeah.
That's what he quoted you for?
Yep.
What? He's literally saying you want to do a Bible study, but you're waiting for more people to join so that more people can participate. You'll benefit from it. That's all I'm saying. This is his evidence that, look, he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't like the Bible. Like, what?
That's literally his argument.
I don't know if this guy is just deliberately just trying to come after you and lie and misrepresent you, or he's just seriously just has issues, like reading comprehension skill issues. I want to be charitable and give the benefit of the doubt and say, well, maybe he's really that dumb. But I honestly don't know.
Yeah, sorry about that barking you heard too. Give me a second.
That's all right. That's crazy, dude.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
No worries.
But yeah, I'm keeping an eye on them too, because usually if someone's gonna be at the door, they'll be barking like crazy. But one of them is a little bit of a drama queen, so. But yeah, not once did I say that I was gonna stop doing Bible videos. I never said that once. And then he wonders why I'm responding the way I am. Really? But yeah, that one time you and I were doing a live, I thought we were going to do a little bit of a Bible video, but the thing here is I didn't know what really to talk about, so it just became a mix and match thing. That's why I said chill live, because I didn't know what we are going to be doing. So. And And last time I checked, there's no crime in that either.
Until you get more people. I don't know if you know this, but even if only one person watches, you should be reading. See, you are not a pastor.
Well, neither are you. So
Yeah, he's definitely not.
Get over yourself.
and then here's basically his way.
Again, like I said, you're not a bishop, right? You're not.
And I will never.
You're not
take
someone
on
who's like in a very high position. You're just a basic preacher. I mean, that's all.
Yeah, like I said, there's no way.
And God can use you. Like you can grow and get stronger over time. Like you can, if there's anything you're wrong about, you can correct it. I mean, you're still young, right?
Yeah.
So there's still room for improvement, obviously. But that doesn't mean you're not called.
And that's the other reason why I will tell people, hey, look, do not take my word for it. Hear me out, but look it up for yourself. Read your Bible, do research, and pray before you do. Yeah.
Because it's not about us, it's about Christ. Christ can use anyone.
Exactly.
I mean, he spoke through a talking donkey. I mean, like, none of us are special. That's the whole point.
Here's the other thing I noticed too, and I do accuse them of being Calvinists because with Calvinists, and I talked with some of them before, they have the same attitude as Gator does.
Has he ever like publicly like professed like, I don't know, predestination?
I'm
gonna have, when I look through some of his videos, I'm gonna see if maybe he holds to Calvinism. I wouldn't assume that. I wouldn't just accuse him of that if there's no evidence.
Well, here's where
I would leave that open until we're actually sure. Because if he is a Calvinist, then Calvinist is a heresy.
Well, here's the thing: the group that he's involved in is called Trinitarians Working for Christ, which is basically, I'm going to call it for what it really is, a Christian cult, because it's no one's not Christian, but
I mean, does he actually hold? What is his view and stance on the Trinity?
He holds the
Like,
Trinity.
I wonder.
Supposedly, he does hold the Trinity, but the way he approaches oneness believers is way out of line. And I was like that for a little bit too, and I had to rethink my stuff.
Yeah, oneness is heresy.
But the other thing
he's
was
a Trinitarian, but like, has he ever, like, does he actually have a stance on like stuff like hypostatic union, the incarnation, two natures, two wills of Christ, like how Christ's humanity, like what does he actually know about that?
I never heard him say stuff like that, but however, he does agree with some of the Calvinistic doctrine because one of the members in the group, because it's mixed up of Baptists and Calvinists. And
like, I'm curious as to like his Christology though, because if I ever debate him, because I think I might, if he wants to debate me, but I want to like figure out like what his Christology is, because that's something that I would like to focus on.
trying to keep an eye on these dogs and their. You got some ice cubes in your water, you're fine. Because everyone has to have ice cubes at this point. But anyways, anytime he says, have a blessed day, and the Seeing Demonologist, she's a good friend, she's Christian. She knows this, and I'm going to say it too. In a sense, it's kind of like saying...
Is that the goth girl?
The goth girl? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've seen some of her videos, actually. I saw her on TikTok, but...
she's a good friend of mine. We don't talk much.
She seems really cool.
Yeah, she
She seems cool.
She is. You would not have a problem with her at all. She's really young. She's awesome. Oop. And I pushed up my CD drive. I did not mean to do that. But anyways, next video. Remove that. And here's a video they tried to get me on before.
Appearance on the outside does not matter. It's what's on the...
Now, mind you, in this video, and I did show it a little bit in one of the reaction videos, I was not even talking about him. His name did not come out of my mouth.
Inside that counts. And you, if you know the Bible, you should know that.
Hey, Brandon. Yeah, we're gonna start doing this again.
Pause it
We were
real
not-
quick.
Huh?
He's always trying to act like he's like cool gangster or something. It cracks me up every time. He's like, hey, Brady, you know what? Oh my goodness, you know what kind of vibes he gives me?
What?
Like a mafia boss movie type vibe. It's like,
Kinda does.
hey, Brandon, like it's for real. Like it's like he's trying to be on top and cool. Like, hey, what's up? Hey, what you think you're doing? You owe me money, you know. Like, I don't know, the horrible mafia accent. Like this is the vibe he gives off. It's like I don't know, like Bugsy Malone type building deal. Like I don't know. It's just it's weird. It's cringe. It's really silly. It's like really silly. It's just like, dude, why can't you just talk normal?
Because that wouldn't be his style.
It's a fitting that you used 1 Samuel 16:6 to defend yourself against your comment. You know, where the gentleman, or whoever it was, came after you for you not wearing a shirt and not combing your hair in your videos. Which, get it, understand, but I get, Eliab, Saul was told, don't judge them based on their outward.
I'm curious as to whether he thinks.
But
first off, he doesn't
actually
have
the
any hair.
context of that
So
section.
I don't know why he's commenting about other people's hair. I wonder if he thinks that John the Baptist combed his hair.
Right, because here's the thing. The thing here.
Not that I'm saying any of us are anything like John the Baptist, but I'm just saying John the Baptist was the greatest prophet. And do you really think he was unkept? He was kept and well dressed.
He literally ate locusts and wild honey.
He was a wild man. I mean,
Yeah.
He probably had matted hair, dirt everywhere, dirty clothes. He probably smelled bad. He probably, didn't cut his nails, didn't brush his teeth. He probably looked like a wild man. Everybody thought he was crazy. Remember? Everyone thought he was crazy.
But like I was saying, I don't comb my hair or anything because one, it gets stuck in there. But for also two, I try to keep my hair short because I was gonna try and grow it out. That didn't work out too good. And the other thing is, the reason why in some of my videos I have no shirt on like I do today because it's hot as hell. That's why, because it was hot, and the weather here in Tennessee is bipolar. So yeah, of course I'm not gonna have no shirt on. I'm not gonna sit here and sweat my butt off. That ain't happening.
Eliab was not chosen. He was rejected. And when we dig deeper, it looks like it was probably because of his hot temper. Amazing that you use that. Because you're going to 17 and he immediately...
Brandon, pause that real quick.
I did.
I don't think I've ever seen you, really, really mad before. Maybe a little bit slightly annoyed.
Yeah.
Kind of like an annoyed cat kind of reaction. But I've never seen you actually get mad and, lose your temper.
I will say this. I will get mad if
I'm
someone...
not sure you have before, but I haven't seen it.
The only time I will get mad is if someone does something stupid that's not right or whatever.
Yeah, but there's a difference
between
there's a difference between controlled righteous anger that's actually led as opposed to fleshly anger. Those are two completely different things. Jesus got angry, but he never lost control. He was perfectly in control. Everything he did was deliberate.
Right.
And premeditated. He knew what he was doing. I'm not saying you're like Jesus, but I'm just saying if he's the example for us. And there's nothing wrong with anger if it's controlled anger and it's not coming from you or your flesh or your own personal desire, but it's actually coming from God. That's different.
Exactly.
But I've never seen you lose control. I've never seen you really raise your voice hardly. I've never seen that. I haven't systematically watched every single video you ever put out, but from our interactions and from the videos I haven't seen that. So I don't know where he's getting that from.
Probably from the past back then, probably.
Maybe, but again, I haven't. I don't see any kind of hot temper coming from you at all.
Yeah.
Immediately replied with, "What is your problem now?" I mean, that's his response. Is he's going off on people when they go in the battle. They said, "What is your problem now?"
And notice notice when
it's obvious.
He said, "You say what did he say? You said, really? What does he want again?" Or I forgot
What's your
exactly.
problem now? I mean, that's his response. Is he's going.
What's your
off on
problem
people
now?
when they go into battle?
Okay,
What
okay.
is your
Asking a question. What is your problem now? Do you have a problem with me? Asking a question. How is that losing your temper? How is that having a hot temper? That's just asking a question.
I don't even know.
How is that even losing your temper? It makes no sense.
problem now? So it's
Nothing this
obvious
guy
they have a
says
problem.
makes
You what?
nothing this guy ever says makes sense.
It doesn't. That's the thing I'm trying to say too. Nothing he's saying makes sense. That's the thing.
I don't know if he's consciously aware of that or not.
What is your problem now? So it's obvious they have a problem with his hot temper, his anger, his attitude. Again, amazing that you pick Eliab to defend yourself.
No, I did not. I did
Where
not.
did you do that?
Huh?
Show me the video that he's commenting on. I want to see it for myself.
I can play
Later, not right now. Not right
Oh,
now,
okay.
but later, send me a link to that. I want to see what he's talking about.
And then you tell this person, if they don't honor that one passage that says you judge on the inward in your heart and not on your outward appearance, that they disagree with all of Scripture. They don't follow any of Scripture. But what if you looked a little earlier in 16 and 4 and 5, where it says, what happened before they went before Saul? They were consecrated. What does that mean? They're usually ritually clean, and their clothes were clean.
Pause.
Hey, Brandon.
Pause.
I did.
Okay. He's talking about the Mosaic law. I mean, is he literally saying that we're supposed to keep kosher? That we're supposed to practice the Levitical priesthood? Like, what is he even trying to bring up here? How is
I
this
don't
even
even-
relevant to New
I don't
Testament believers?
I don't know, but supposedly
It just sounds like straight legalism.
It feels like it.
And all of that stuff was symbolic. It was spiritual. So first off, there was a meaning to it. It wasn't just for no reason.
Right.
First, if he's not spiritual, he's not going to understand that. But play.
Clean, and their clothes were clean. What does that mean? They presented themselves ritually. They're usually ritually. They went before Saul. They were consecrated. What does that mean? They're ritually.
Ritually. I wonder what kind of rituals this guy does. Show us some rituals. Show us how ritualistic you are.
Usually ritually clean, and their clothes were clean. What does that mean? They presented themselves. They cleaned themselves up before they went through this process of walking past.
Wait, pause. He's not being consecrated. He's not presenting himself because you know what? He's wearing a T-shirt that has letters on it. He's not wearing a whole pure white robe and turban. See, he hasn't consecrated himself. He's wearing worldly clothes that has letters on it. And who knows what it says? It's probably some worldly stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, why aren't you wearing like a white robe and
and you don't
just
help
completely
yourself.
clean and blemishless? Like, why are you dressed like a normal person?
Exactly. Keep on going with this.
And you don't help yourself by continually calling yourself a pastor and diving into Scripture this way. Yeah. And I'm going to say this, and it may anger you, and it may not, but it's the truth. And a lot of people will agree with me, is that you're grossly ignorant when it.
Really?
I think we just sufficiently proved that this guy's ignorant and doesn't know what 1 Timothy chapter 3 is about.
Yeah.
Comes to the context of Scripture, and using this, you weaponize Scripture to defend your laziness.
No, I do not. You wish, but I do not. Okay, so let me go to the actual context of that, which is 1 Samuel 16. case 7. You want to take a look at it too? I'll show you if you want.
First thing, hold on. What's the verse?
First Samuel. 1 Samuel 16, verse 7.
First what?
1 Samuel chapter 16.
First, okay.
I'll let you read that first so you get the general idea. If anyone heard my messenger go off, sorry, I'm talking to my roommate because
No, sir.
because the management thing is supposed to be bringing by an AC unit, so I got no idea what's going on yet. And I
And the
read
Lord,
that.
do you want to just read the whole chapter?
I was going from 1 through 7, but if you want to, that's fine by me, I guess.
Yeah. All right. And the Lord said unto Samuel, How long wilt thou mourn for Samuel, seeing that I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thine horn with oil and go. I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehem, for I have provided me a king among his sons. And Samuel said, How can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And the Lord said, Take an heifer with thee, and say, I am come to sacrifice to the Lord. And call Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show thee what thou shalt do. And thou shalt anoint unto me him whom I name unto thee. And Samuel did that which the Lord spake, and came to Bethlehem. And the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, Comest thou peacefully? And he said, Peaceably I am come to sacrifice unto the Lord. Sanctify yourselves, and come with me to sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons, and called them to the sacrifice. And it came to pass, when they were come, that he looked on Eliab, and said, Surely the Lord's anointed is before him. And the Lord said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as a man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. Then Jesse called Abinadab and made him pass before Samuel. And he said, Neither hath the Lord chosen this. Then Jesse made Shammah to pass by. And he said, Neither hath the Lord chosen this. Again Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel. And Samuel said unto Jesse, The Lord hath not chosen these. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Are here all thy children? And he said, There remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither. And he sent and brought him in. And he was ruddy and withal of a beautiful countenance and goodly to look to. And the Lord said, Arise, anoint him, for this is he. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David. And that day forward, so Samuel rose up and went to Ramah. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. And Saul's servant said unto him, Behold, now an evil spirit from the Lord troubleth thee. Let our Lord now commandeth thy servants, which are before thee, to seek out a man who is a cunning player on a harp. And it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit from God is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. And Samuel said unto his servants, Provide me now with a man that can play well. Bring him to me. Then answered one of the servants and said, Behold, I have sent a son of Jesse the Bethlehemite, that is cunning in playing, and a mighty valiant man, a man of war, and prudent in matters, and a comely person, and the Lord is with him. Wherefore Saul sent messengers unto Jesse and said, Send me David thy son, which is with the sheep. And Jesse took an ass laden with bread, and a bottle of wine, and a kid, and sent them by Jesse his son unto Saul. And David came to Saul and stood before him, and he loved him greatly, and he became his armor bearer. And Saul said to Jesse, saying, Let David, I pray thee, stand before thee, for he hath found favor in my sight. And it came to pass, when the evil spirit from God was upon Saul, that David took an harp and played with his hand. And so Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him.
Man.
All right. Hello? Did you hear me?
Yeah, I did.
Did I cut out? All right.
I did. But give me 1 second, though, because I just heard something. Give me 1 second, and we're going to talk on that for a little bit. All right. So I like how he sits here and says, like, you know, I basically relate myself to Eliab when I did not. Because I look at verse 7, and he rejected Eliab. That's true. However, God's sitting here right here saying,
Yeah.
I don't see as
How do you
man
compare yourself to Eliab? You're just pointing out that God doesn't look at the outward more so than the inward. What does that have to do with Israel?
He was trying to compare me to Eliab, basically saying,
He's trying to say you compared yourself to Eliab, but I don't.
Yeah,
that's not what you quoted that verse for. It's like he's just picking random things just to find something. It's weird.
That's literally. Well, hang on, let me see if I can find this. Here we go. Because here's the only thing I quoted. So everything else right up here, I just did this. I just quoted this part, where man looks on the outward appearance, and that's true. But Yahweh, or the Lord, looks at the heart, for I do not see as man sees. That's the only thing I was trying to get at. That's all I was trying to say.
This guy is seeming more and more just like straight Pharisee.
Their leader is worse. I mean, he's worse, but so is their leader.
He's not the leader. I thought he was. I was
No,
under
he's not.
No. Based on how he presents himself, I was under the impression that he was a self-proclaimed leader, whatever church or ministry he's running.
Their cult, they do go to churches and whatever. I do not go to the building. Their cult leader is
like house churches. I mean, in the New Testament, the apostles would show up at each other's houses. They would do house gatherings.
That's what I would do.
Official church buildings didn't really exist until like probably around the 2nd century. It was when they had like actual funded church buildings. I was kind of because before that, Christians were being persecuted, so they had to hide, right?
Yeah, I trust the house.
But like again, like just having a live stream that can technically be church. I mean, obviously, it's always better to gather in person. I get that, totally understandable. But you can gather a house Bible study. You could do all kinds of things for a church gathering. I have a fellowship group that we do Bible studies every Thursday, and that's kind of what we do for. That's kind of what I do for church. I visit them. One of the guys has like an apartment, and we do Bible study. We read the Bible. We have a lesson plan. Sometimes we'll read from something. Like last year, we were studying The Cost of Discipleship by Friedrich Bonhoeffer. I may have butchered his name, but he wrote a book called Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Sorry, it's a German name, so forgive me if I butchered it. But
yeah.
And he was one of the people who opposed Hitler during the Third Reich. He was a Lutheran pastor, and he was martyred. And he wrote, before he died, he wrote a book called The Cost of Discipleship, which is about, taking up your cross, self-sacrifice, discipline, all those things, what it truly means to be a disciple. He talked about the difference between cheap grace versus costly grace, counting the costs, stuff like that. So we did a whole study on that, and we would select like a passage of the Bible to study. And that's church. I mean, that it's not an official church building. It's a guy's apartment, right? But it's not the building that matters. It's the gathering. So I'm not saying like you're a fake pastor or fake Christian because you don't go to church. But what I'm saying is like I would recommend personally that you do find a fellowship group within your area to physically fellowship. That would be a good thing.
Yeah.
I would encourage that. It doesn't have to be an actual church, but that is something that I think is important. So there is some truth to what he's saying, but he's saying it in a way to kind of like just straight up tear you down and condemn you, as opposed to actually give advice. And that's where he goes wrong with that.
I mean,
But you should fellowship, obviously. But there are different ways to fellowship. It doesn't have to be an actual traditional stained glass church building.
right, and that's what I've been trying to do because, like I said, and I do have a video where I did go to a church, but I went there to see what it was about. And plus, I didn't know my bestie. I didn't know she was getting baptized. So I'm like, okay. Because I was sitting there in the pew the whole entire time. I'm like, wait, where the hell did you go?
But you got to be careful because a lot of churches, especially for corporate, 401k churches, I mean, most of them are sellouts.
Yeah, I know. That's the reason why I don't like it.
But that's why I say, like, the apostle, in the early days, the apostle didn't even go to church buildings. They went to each other's houses. It's the same thing. As long as there's two or more gathered in my name, like, that's church.
Like, here's the thing for me. The last time I even went to, like, a fellowship, whatever, not a church building, was
But
literally
the Bible, sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt. But the Bible does say, it says, forsake not the assembling of the brethren. Iron sharpens iron. So fellowship is important. It is necessary for spiritual growth. So again, you just got to balance it out. There is a point. Like he kind of does have a point, but at the same time, he's trying to make it sound like, oh, you never do fellowship or anything at all, or either that, or he's trying to make it sound like you literally have to go to a corporate government-owned 501c3 church, which is completely false.
Right, but like I said, the only time I did like a fellowship type stuff is over at dental office, and that's the last time I did anything. But if there's something like that again, I would do it again. I would.
Well, like I said, you can start your own fellowship Bible study circle. I mean, we kind of sort of have one now. We had one with your ex and
Maria.
Yeah, we had, but I mean, she fell away. It looks like she's actually back into the world. And I've tried talking to her. I don't know. It's just I don't feel like I'm getting through to her. So I just kind of let her be. It looks like she's dating someone now. She has a boyfriend. I don't know.
Yeah, they just had a baby together too. So there's that too.
I thought that was her. The baby she already had.
Yeah,
she had another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a son already.
Yeah, she has a son.
Man, I hope she was depressed, and you could clearly tell she was scared because she knew about the Freemasons, and she was in a club that was owned by Freemasons. She was scared that they who knows what kind of behind the scenes they could have been giving her death threats. I mean, it probably scared her away. She seemed like she was running. I hope she's doing better. I hope if she has indeed fallen away, I hope she's repented.
I don't know.
I haven't spoken to her in a while.
But I haven't talked to her for a while either. But anyways,
but yeah, we kind of had that going, but it just
I know,
hard.
and I loved it too. And then stuff started getting weird. That's the thing. I didn't like.
Yeah, and then we didn't hang out and do this stuff much either. Like for a very long time.
Yeah.
We both got distracted. But like I said, like part of your depression, the stuff you've been going through lately, I'm
And then-
obviously it has to do with the breakup, obviously, but I'm
It
sure it
was.
also has to do with the fact that you don't have enough fellowship. Like you're not for a long time you weren't growing. I don't think you were growing spiritually at all. I'm just being real with you. So we definitely need to fellowship, obviously.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here because management's supposed to be by with AC units. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. But yeah, I'll talk to you later, man, and let's see what we can work on for probably Monday. Probably, I don't know yet.
Well, I'm gonna look into this guy and see exactly like what his doctrine is, what he teaches.
All right,
he's on that as well.
All right. I'll see you later then.
All right.
All right.
God
Later.
bless you, bro. Stay in prayer. Stay in your word.
I will.